Greetings. Good night to each and everyone. Linda Simmons, greetings. Thank you for joining. Thank you for stopping through to hang out with your good friend. Hey, good night, everyone. Listen, there's a lot to talk about this evening. Jerry will be joining us in just a bit. But before we go into Jerry Enriquez, I want to touch on some local issues. Some issues we've been grappling with here in the South, particularly here in Dangriga. There was a post by Reverend Barbara Marie, and she shared her experience while traveling or attempting to travel from Dangriga to, I believe, Belmopan or Belize City. Now, this is a situation that happened to me in the past as well. This happened to me before, once, twice, maybe 3 times, where you go to the bus stop, you go to the bus terminal, you get there, and nobody tells you, there's no hint whatsoever that the bus that you're going there to get on is either late or it's not showing up, or when it shows up, it's filled to capacity, right? Has no space for anyone to sit down. This is a problem. This is an issue that we have been facing for a long time. In my experience, for over a year. I want to go to this comment on Facebook because it's important. I want to share it with you guys, and the comments that came after the post that Reverend Barbara posted. A lot of people voiced their concerns as well. So I want to touch on that really quick, and then we will add Jerry. Jerry will be added to the show, and we'll go into the topics for today. But let me quickly share this with you guys before we go any further. Here it is. All right, so Reverend Barbara Marie, she said, help me understand. Got to the bus station to catch a 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. bus. People are in there at the Dangriga bus station saying that they have been waiting since 5:30. And either the bus full or it didn't show up. Okay. I planted an idea of an extra bus. The bus company said we need 30 people. Okay, have that. She got it. The bus company tried to organize an extra bus, if only as far as Belmopan. Company willing, but then terminal management said no approval. I'm reading what Reverend Barbara wrote. So we are waiting 30 people for an 8 a.m. Floralia. That is more than likely coming full. Now they tell we 3 Floralia coming for 8 and 8:30. Help me make this make sense. We deserve better. Who could do something. I want to read some of these comments. You know, here's the thing happening in Dangriga for many individuals here. There's hardly any opportunities, hardly any jobs for people to go to work in close proximity to where they live. People have to travel all the way to Belmopan, to Belize City, all the way to San Pedro, and still they have to travel all in these areas. But in addition to traveling, the bus or buses are not always readily available. This is a problem that we have been facing for quite some time now. Denzel Richie. This been happening for months. All complaints and have fallen on deaf ears. This make no sense. Irene Aranda. It happened to us when we were there. Big Monday and no bus available. When the Florala came, it was a small minivan, like things for all of us wait, like minivan like thing for all of us waiting. When the other bus came, it was full chaos because people were waiting since 6 a.m. Folks, let me bring on Jerry. Jerry is trying to reach me, so bear with me for a second. Guys, just bear with me for a couple seconds. I am adding Jerry to the live. So while I'm doing this, I'll just play this background music just so things not be dead. Okay. That looks good, actually. That looks good. That looks really good. That looks good. You nailed it. I wouldn't touch it. Okay. That's it right there. That's perfect. You know, drop, right? All right. Folks, thank you for your patience. Let me go back to the live. We now have Jerry. I'll add him to this session and then we'll get this discussion started. For those of you who've been hanging tight waiting, again, Band Sereme. I thank you all for your patience. All right, so here we go. Jerry, let me add you and then we'll get this discussion going. Let's add Jerry. Yes. What we're also going to do as well, let me just put you on the screen. I know we have to pull up the PowerPoint. I have that in my queue, but I want to make, yeah, I'm gonna set that up right now. All right, folks, thanks again for your patience. I have Jerry waiting in the waiting room. Tonight is going to be a very informative discussion, very educational. Jerry has a PowerPoint he's going to be sharing with you guys. I was sharing Reverend Barbara Marie's comment or her post on Facebook regarding the buses and schedules, right? I was saying earlier that a lot of us, so many of us here in Dangriga, we have to go out to Belmopan, to Belize City, to the Keys to find jobs because there are not that many jobs here at home in Dangriga where you live. Also, because of that, so many people live outside of Dangriga now. They change, they actually vote somewhere else. Sometimes we have, during the time I was campaigning, I met so many individuals who would knock their head and say, man, I wish I was here in Dangriga. I wish I was registered to vote here in Dangriga. Otherwise, I'd vote for you. Now, I don't want to, I'm not making this all about just voting. My point is this. Dangriga is in a certain place, has been at a position as at a stagnant position where we don't grow economically. There's hardly any development. And where there is development, it is not for the majority, it is always for a minority. And Jerry is going to be digging deep into that, into those topics, how we got here, why we are where we are at, why we don't progress. All right. And one of the biggest reasons that is, politically speaking, I'm just giving a summary here. When it comes to the electorate, when it comes to the different constituencies, the different divisions in the districts in our country, there are certain constituencies that only have like half of what is required. All right. For example, you have Mesopotamia in Belize City that has about 2,300 people. And then you come down to Dangriga that has over 6,300 people. That's double. But Mesopotamia will have their own era representative, while Dangriga only have one as well. If Mesopotamia get 15,000 or 20,000 for the month to take care of their 2,300 people, Dangriga will have 6,000 plus people will get that same 15, 20,000 for the month to feed and take care of everybody. And if you think that bad, you go to Stan Creek West, Rodwell Ferguson. He has, Stan Creek West has over 10,500, and I'll show you guys these numbers. I'll put them up on the screen because Jerry will give us details. But I just wanted to dive into this from a very elementary level and from a grassroots perspective so we can understand what is happening. Jerry, I'll ask you to just give us a brief introduction. You're no stranger to most of my audience, our audience tonight, but still we have newcomers who might want to know who Jerry Enriquez is. So before we go to the slide, just introduce yourself, please.
Thank you for having me. To be listeners and some of the people know me being a from way back know that have taken on different in education system. For example, in the district, I remember being a very staunch advocate to improve secondary education system in PG from in the city. Very passionate engaged in when threats to fight me to keep me quiet, so that I do not voice staunch opposition to what was then a declining system, out of apathy by some fellows